Ben Thomas Show. I've got a question for you. Have you guys ever sat at the precipice of a very slippery slope, looking down that line, thinking, I don't know if I want to go down this path? That's where I am when it comes to the McFarlane Toys line Batman universe figures. I picked up the Batman at the movie theater on the opening night that I got to see the Batman film. And ever since, I've been, keeping an eye out for this figure. This is the Riddler from the Batman movie that just released with Robert Pattinson. This is a representation of Paul Dano's character. He was phenomenal in that movie and really eerie, and I wanted that representation of this figure in my collection. So here you can see it. We've got the box in hand. I'm going to open them up. I think it's really cool that these figures come with a collectible card on the inside. I like some of the DC logo stamping in the backdrop. Really cool and kind of eye-catching, especially when you walk past it on a shelf, which is marketing 101. They get you. And I mean, for those who know me, they know that I normally collect 1/6 scale figures. This is only a 6-inch figure, so this is only about the half size of what I normally like to have represented in my collection. And I don't want to have a collection room that's split up so badly with different scales necessarily. But what I do want to see is representations of characters in my collection that have meant something to me. And I can tell you, not since the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy have I had the chills with a Batman film like I had with this film. And I honestly cannot wait for Hot Toys to bring out their own options. I know that there are some third-party 1/6 scale versions of this guy potentially coming, but I gotta say, for a 6-inch figure, this guy has a lot of detail. And I'm excited to show that to you. I wanted to zoom in on the close-up of the card just so you guys could see it. It's a really nice little feature. It's probably going to stay in the box, honestly, just so I don't lose it or damage it. But boom, here is this figure. Now, again, it's not fair to compare this guy to a Hot Toys figure, so I'm not going to have any direct comparisons because, again, different scales, different price points, different material choices. I love the way this guy looks, though. Take a look at the glasses. I'm going to have some up-close images or shots here shortly where you can see actual eyes painted under the glasses, which is a really creepy effect. When you turn this guy to the left or to the right side, you can see that the back of the head actually looks like it's covered in saran wrap, which is just like the movie, which, again, for a 6-inch figure for $30 at Walmart, can you beat that? That's pretty freaking cool. I like that the details of the costume are present. The colors are definitely there, and they feel like they're on point, at least with how my memory jives with the movie. I like that it's got that card on his chest, even though it's sculpted plastic. It's still really cool. I really like the way that the glasses capture lighting. Now, Shauna is a huge Trailer Park Boys fan. This guy's costume, I'm surprised nobody said it, does give me a little bit of the Green Bastard vibes. And if you know who the Green Bastard is, you know what I'm talking about. If not, Google the Green Bastard from the Trailer Park Boys. Now, I'll say one of the challenges that I've had with this figure are the legs. They are not very articulated because of the way the jacket comes down around the body. Those legs don't really want to splay out all that much, which means you really have to kind of delicately balance them on his figure stand. And I do think that that's okay, at least when it comes to this size of line. Most of the time the base is so flat, you don't really notice it in your display anyways. It just helps him to not knock everything else over like a bowling pin. Where he does have some great articulation is actually in the arms and the shoulder joints. As you can see, you can actually raise the tool that he comes, that carpet pulling tool, quite a bit over his head in order to get that menacing, scary first scene where he bashes the heck out of that guy's brain. Or if you want to pull off some wicked dance poses with the Riddler, I mean, it's up to you. It's your display. I do think that it's cool that McFarlane Toys has at least that level of articulation, and I do find that even though some of the screw pegs that hold the arms and legs together are visible, especially with the paint job, you can turn it in a way that makes it so that you can't really see that. And I also realize that these figures are built a little bit stiff. So even with the legs there, I was able to pry them apart a little bit more to make him stand a bit better than when he came, fresh out of the box. You still see that there's a little bit of struggle there and a little bit of balancing, but you can make it look like a pretty realistic body position pose, which is kind of cool and definitely represents the character. When I look at this particular pose essentially with this guy, I'm seeing that first scene. I can envision it. I almost want to get just like a stock random dude to put in front of him as that brain bashing scene unfolds for everybody. But let's be honest. What's the fun in having a toy if you don't pose them with some of your other toys? And so I've pulled out my Robert Pattinson Batman. Now, again, I got this guy at the movie theater on opening night of the film. I really wanted to make sure that I brought a piece of that movie home with me. I knew that I'd love it, and I'm happy I did because these guys pair together pretty well. I'm a little surprised how tall the Riddler figure is next to the Batman. When you pose Batman in behind, it looks a little bit more imposing, I think. It looks like he's about to stop the Riddler from bashing some guy's head. But again, I think under different lighting, and depending on how you have your collection set up, I think it's pretty convincing, and I really like it. It makes me want to fully slide down the rabbit hole with this line and actually pick up the other figures. I saw a Penguin. I saw that there's the Selena Kyle Catwoman. I don't want to go too deep into 6-inch lines, especially when I'm more of a 1/6 scale collector. But I do feel like there's a great middle ground with the figure costs here. These aren't too expensive. You can pick one up here and there as just a bit of a treat at the store if you want to treat yourself. And you can have a representation of a cool character in your collection while you wait for some of those companies like Hot Toys or even some of the third-party offerings to come out with their own solutions for the 1/6 scale game or statue game, depending on what you're into. But at the end of the day, I would actually recommend this figure quite highly. I think he's got better detail on him than the Batman figure, surprisingly, even though obviously the Batman should really be the star of that film and the star of the toy line. This guy's amazing. He looks really, really good. And even though he does give me a little bit of the Green Bastard vibes like I joked about earlier, that's not this figure's fault, and it's certainly not the movie's fault. That just happens to be a coincidence in design. I think the only thing that I wish they did a little bit better is the tool that he's holding onto. It very much looks like a plastic little tool. I almost wish they hadn't included it. I think that they could have given you something else. But at the end of the day, it's a $30 figure. So if you guys liked this video, if you like this figure, leave a comment below, hit the like button if you can, hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next video.